Travis Walton guys not doing some shady shit. The Travis Walton UFO Incident. Okay, let's take a peek. Crazy how we went from jerky to alien abductions so quick. So here he is on Joe Rogan. Where's like a breakdown of his claims? Decoding the Unknown made a whole video on it. Where's the Cliff Notes? I guess here's the trailer for a Discovery original on it. Thanks, Resub Dio.
It was just like a saucer just sitting in the air.
Travis had that door open and was getting out.
And all of a sudden, this bluish light came out.
It was blind panic, white knuckles.
I hollered out, they got him.
Travis! Travis!
He was nowhere to be found.
This is real life. This is what happened to a man and 6 other of his crew members.
They abducted the entire force?
Sheriff showed up. He didn't really believe our story.
You killed him, just admit it.
He kept telling me, you know, if you just tell us where the body is, we're gonna all go home.
There was probably 150, 200 people out searching for Travis.
Our town had never really had any reporters at all, and then all of a sudden there's like people from all different countries.
It was scary, really scary.
Phone rang and there was a voice on the other side saying,
"Hey, this is Travis. Come and get me."
He seemed really different. He seemed traumatized. He seemed kind of scared.
I felt like there was something seriously wrong. It was only a matter of seconds before I realized that these weren't human doctors. This was an alien face.
Your reality just becomes so different. It scares the hell out of you.
Sometimes it bothers me a lot. Why did it happen? Why was it us?
I think people need to realize that we're not alone in the universe.
The phenomenon is real.
So they came here and took Travis in particular? Why him? What did he have that the rest of us don't? So what makes it so credible? It said it's one of the most heavily documented alien abductions. Is it because he had 6 of his crew members around and they couldn't find him? And they all claimed a giant blue light? 100% a bad drug trip? Well, I haven't heard the whole story yet, but I suppose that could be an option. He's a tier 1 Joker, and the resub Baron. Marky and the bits, Jack. Hey, good shit. Congrats, Jack. Thanks to the resub Magma. Watch the Rogan interview. Well, I guess I imagine the Rogan interview is going to be a lot like his other interviews, just kind of prodding at like the current and touching on the past. I was just kind of hoping like for a full breakdown with the so-called heavily documented experience. So I would have liked to hear from like the witnesses and all that, but I don't feel like watching the entire fucking Discovery Plus thing on it, at least not tonight. He's Risa Lactose. You could just read the wiki. Well, true, I guess. Let me see. He has his own wiki. The Travis Walton UFO Incident. In 1964, during a hypnosis session, Barney Hill told his psychiatrist a story about having been abducted by aliens. Modern psychiatric consensus is that Hill experienced false memory syndrome, in which therapy methods such as hypnosis lead to confabulations. I haven't heard that word in years. Confabulations. That's such a fucking good word. Thanks to the resub, Jonald and Uwe. On October 20th, 1975, NBC Network aired the UFO Incident, a made-for-TV movie inspired by the Hills, starring James Earl Jones. The film aired 2 weeks before the Travis Walton UFO Incident, which led cognitive psychologist Susan Clancy to argue that this film influenced Travis Walton to present his own alleged abduction story. Walton's account shares commonality with other alien abduction claims that are made after such stories appear in films and on TV. Clancy noted the general rise in alien abduction claims following the showing of the UFO Incident and cites Class's conclusions that after viewing this movie, any person with a little imagination could now become an instant celebrity, concluding that one of those instant celebrities was Travis Walton, which is something we've seen time and time again. So it's certainly plausible. According to Walton and a number of other members from the logging crew, on November 5th, 1975, he was working with a timber stand improvement crew in the Apache Sitgreaves National Forest near Snowflake, Arizona. Snowflake, Arizona, huh? While riding in a truck with 6 of his coworkers, they allegedly encountered a saucer-shaped object hovering over the ground approximately 110 feet away, making a high-pitched buzz. Walton says that after he left the truck and approached the object, a beam of light suddenly appeared from the craft and knocked him unconscious. The other 6 men were frightened and supposedly drove away. Walton says he awoke in a hospital-like room being observed by 3 short, bald creatures. He says that he fought with them until a human wearing a helmet led Walton to another room, where he blacked out as 3 other humans put a clear plastic mask over his face. Walton has said that he remembers nothing else until he found himself walking along a highway 5 days later with the flying saucer departing above him. Thanks to the resub, Drain Me and Bree. Just getting the cliff notes here, I gotta tell you, calling this the most compelling evidence of a real UFO abduction is quite a leap. In the days following Walton's UFO claims, National Enquirer awarded Walton and his coworkers $5,000 prize for Best UFO Case of the Year, after they were said to have passed polygraph tests administered by the Enquirer and the Aerial Phenomena Research Organization. Walton, his older brother, and his mother were described by the Navajo County, Arizona Sheriff as longtime students of UFOs. UFOologist Jim Ledwith said, "For 5 days the authorities thought he'd been murdered by his coworkers, and then he returned. All of the coworkers who were there, who saw the spacecraft, they took polygraph tests, and they all passed except for one, and that one was inconclusive." Speaking of inconclusive, there's a reason why polygraph tests aren't exactly the gold standard. But at least I got $5,000. That's something. These are some Simplici and the Prime Goblin and Domino. These wild Travis abductors copied the movie Aliens. Well, maybe the movie just got it right. Oh man, he's even getting blasted by UFO researchers. UFO researcher Philip J. Klass agreed Walton's story was a hoax perpetrated for financial gain, identified many discrepancies in the accounts of Walton and his co-workers. After investigating the case, Klass reported that polygraph tests were poorly administered and that Walton had used polygraph countermeasures such as holding his breath, and that Klass uncovered an earlier failed test administered by an examiner who concluded the case involved gross deception. Oof. Eek. Thanks to the resub Full Metal in the Prime JC.